Hello, my name is Sarah Watson, and I would like to tell you about my findings on Facebook, especially what I found on the use of Facebook in education. First, let me start by giving you a little background information on Facebook. Facebook is a social networking website that makes it easy for you to connect and share with your friends and family online. Originally designed for college students, Facebook was created in 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg while he was enrolled at Harvard University. By 2006, anyone over the age of 13 with a valid email address could join Facebook. Today, Facebook is the world's largest social network site with more than 1 billion users worldwide. Even though Facebook was originally created for social media outlets such as finding and talking to your friends and family, as well as posting pictures, it is now for things such as discussion forums, gaming, and education, which is what I'm going to go into further. Facebook is a rather simple page to guide. It's very user-friendly, and it's very easy to create a new Facebook web page. There are different web pages that you can create. Of course, a personal page, business pages, and what we're talking about today, educational pages. There are 4 easy steps to start your journey in creating your educational page. You go to the facebook.com/pages/create site. Next, you click to choose a page category. Next, you select a more specific category from the down menu and fill out the required information. This is going to be personal information. They don't go into too much depth into your personal information, but they have to have some. And then they ask you what kind of things you're going to be doing on your page. And then you click Get Started and follow the on-screen instructions. The portion that asks you to give more information will filter out some of the things you're not going to want on your page, such as business type information and more personal information that you wouldn't share with your students. There are so many cool ways to improve student learning through Facebook. Like I said, this isn't your typical social media site. Here are some great ways to not only keep in touch, but also learn through Facebook. Some resources you could find on Facebook is you could ask for information like polling parents and asking them questions instead of researching a topic. There may be a parent who is abreast to current maybe technologies, or they know about birds or things like that. You could attend remote lectures. You can see lectures on anything from around the world that are posted to Facebook. Museums. You could also see museums that you'll never get to in your lifetime, possibly. You could follow politicians, especially if it's a year where you're teaching your students about voting, and it's a voting year. Then you could teach them how to follow politicians and see their views on things. There are learning games that you can use on Facebook to help enhance your learning in a fun way. And then there are applications like flashcards and tools that you can use to create quizzes to help students study. The next thing is projects and assignments. You could do book reviews after you've read a book. You could ask a student to do a book review where they may not want to raise their hand in class and tell you their thoughts. They could put that down in writing. I think about bell ringers. You could type up journal entries and then you can share them with your classmates. There are things like scavenger hunts. You can have a fun day where you put a list of things together for kids to hunt for. They could share clues through your Facebook page. There are also book clubs where you may not gather during class, but you have time outside of class when you're reading your book to talk about how that book is going. especially for the students who have outside of class reading assignments. You could put reading summaries, and you also have school broadcasts, which are pretty cool. You get to take your information from the school and you can make multimedia presentations and make them into videos and broadcast them to other classes. Here are some other ways you can improve student learning with Facebook: through sharing, getting parents involved, doing parent surveys, asking their opinions about things. You can document class trips through photos. Of course, that's the public sharing portion and the social media portion. You can make graphs out of parent data. So if you've done a survey or a child's done a survey in any form or fashion, then they can use the tools on Facebook to create graphs. Collaboration and discussion. This is another area for your parents to be able to give their input on things, hopefully all positive. You just try to filter out the negative. But this is another place where not only parents can be involved, but all your stakeholders, your staff, your faculty, other community members, because this is a public forum. So you can ask them for feedback. You can do writing workshops where your students can do peer editing, which I love. This can be done inside or outside of the classroom. You could do study groups, so students could ask each other questions if they don't understand something. And the same thing with homework help. If it's the weekend, and hopefully you haven't assigned too much homework on the weekend, but if you have, and there's a research project or something they're trying to work on, instead of them having to use your phone number and call you, then they can just Facebook you. Okay, a few more ways that Facebook can improve student learning: through classroom management and organization. You can post events. Not only can the students get those particular events if they have the Facebook app, or they can get on Facebook at home, but so can the parents. I can't think of many people who don't have Facebook or that don't check it quite frequently throughout the day. So posting events in your classroom, things that are happening that are fun, maybe field trips, anything. You could post menus for lunches. You can post any sort of homework, anything that you have on Facebook under events. You can celebrate birthdays by sending birthday cards to your students. You can share positive updates. You can have a brag board for the parents to go in and see what their children are doing that's special. And then you can share last minute updates if something comes in quickly and you don't have time to call all of your parents or notify them in a quick manner, then you can share it on Facebook. There are also some apps and groups, things like flashcards to help with studying, calendars that will also put down those events, and then homework help apps. Since Facebook is a social media site, everyone you want to be informed can be informed. I would suggest that you inform all of your stakeholders, such as your parents and guardians. Of course, you want to keep them abreast to everything that's going on in your classroom. Then students, because they're going to be working on the Facebook app. And then grandparents or anybody else who might be working with studying or homework for the students, or might want to see any special events or the brag board. The faculty and staff, so that they can see what's going on in your classroom. Of course, there are pros and cons to everything, and here are some pros and cons to using Facebook in the classroom. Educationally, it's a tool that can foster collaboration and discussion. It can enrich learning experiences. It can enhance the student engagement in your classroom. Students who rarely raise their hand in the class may feel more comfortable expressing themselves through Facebook or other types of social media. It improves communication among students and teachers. Things that they may not be able to get across during the day, they might be able to go home that night and Facebook you and talk to you about maybe homework or situations in the classroom. It also helps students to prepare successfully for employment. Students who are entering the workforce can use social networking sites to network and find employment and link up with different people. Some of the cons: social media can be a distraction. Common complaint among educators is that social media is distracting in the classroom, these instructors maintain that tools like Facebook and Twitter divert students' attention away from what's happening in the classroom, and it can ultimately be disruptive. Of course, there are things like cyberbullying. While social network sites provide a way for students and teachers to connect, they can be a weapon of malicious behavior. People can get picked on. Things aren't always reported. And then it discourages face-to-face communication, which is a pro and a con to me. Of course, you want face-to-face communication, but for some of those children who are very shy and don't want to speak in class, then they can get their ideas out and talk to you through Facebook. There are many different ways to be safe on Facebook. Some of the best ways to stay safe are knowing the ins and outs of Facebook, knowing when there's a problem, and this poster gives a good idea of some things you can do to keep safe. You, especially with children, you think before you post. Of course, we all tend to put our foot in our mouths at times, but when you post something, it's online forever. You only connect with friends and family. Don't go outside of that box, especially in an education realm. You're kind to others. You don't share your privacy information, which is your password and any other personal information. And don't be hurtful. Don't bully others. In conclusion, there are many ways that we are able to create a safe and fun learning environment for our students through social media pages like Facebook. We're living in the wave of technology, and these sites can not only keep us connected full-time to our classrooms, but they can also help us enhance student learning experiences. So I say, have fun and be safe in your exciting learning experiences through Facebook. And here's my bibliography. If you want more information, especially from the site 99 Ways You Should Be Using Facebook in Your Classroom, I encourage you to visit that site. Really, really good information.